Well, hello scrapbook friends. I want to welcome you to my new channel. I'm Carrie and this is Scrapbook Your Legacy. Today for my first video, I'm going to do an unboxing video of the new collection by Creative Memories called Deeper in the Woods. And this is a beautiful collection for camping, traveling, anything outdoorsy. So I'm just going to get this out of the box and show you all the parts to it. Okay, the whole purpose of my channel is to create a community of people who enjoy crafting, but also who want to tell their stories through photographs and journaling in creative ways. First, I want to show you the album that comes with this collection. Let me take it out of the wrapper. This is a beautiful album, and I thought this would be perfect for an upcoming family trip that we have out west, which I'd like to journey with you on this channel about, so you can see how pretty this is with the trees. And it's a beautiful shade of green. So this is great for outdoor photographs, if you enjoy being in the woods, and camping and hiking, all of that. The collection also comes, if you did the Buy It All bundle, it comes with the project playbook, which helps you use all the papers up and gives you some great layouts. So that comes with this collection. I'll show you the papers. Here are the texture designer papers, and these are beautiful papers. All right, so you can see they always give you a cover page, and they show you the cardstock that this goes with. So I pulled some of the cardstock. I did not pull the shimmer, but I've pulled the dark green, the avocado, and the hot fudge, so you can see how those work with this paper, and you can see those colors in here. So this is a mossy bark. Here's the flip side of it. So that is a beautiful texture paper. We have chopped wood. The other side is ferns. Great texture there as well. And you can see how this works with the hot fudge, including that green, how the dark green works with that, and even the avocado, there's color in there from that. So you can see how that works together with these papers. Then there's the pine cones, and you can see that. Hopefully you can see that well, if I can bring that up closer. And the flip side of that is birch bark. It could also be aspen wood, but they're similar in their bark appearance. And then we have the cutout of the center of a tree. Again, you can see how that looks with these papers here. Again, with the hot fudge and even with the green. That's a beautiful combination. I'll keep bringing those back in. So the flip side of this is mossy bricks. I thought initially it was bark, but it is like a brick walkway. So you can see that. Again, great textures for your papers, your pages. So we have some wood, like a wood floor or the side of a barn, and then leaves. Beautiful paper there. And then we have this bark as well with pine trees. I think they had this with the original collection, Deep in the Woods. It was a very similar collection, so this one is Deeper in the Woods. So again, showing you these two with the hot fudge, the dark green. I don't think the avocado goes as well with this, but the greens blend. Green is just a color in nature that blends with everything, so don't be afraid to mix colors up. All right, so that's that set of papers. Then there's what every collection comes with. This is almost like tone on tone, but it also has some wonderful pattern paper. So this is the designer paper pack. Again, you can see the same papers, the hot fudge, avocado, and dark green. I love this paper. It's like shadows of trees. I think that's a great paper. The flip side of that is a great stripe. You could use it this way or this way, depending on how you like to have your papers. But just always check the flip side because some papers only go one direction. So you just want to be thinking about that. So those are beautiful. I'm excited about these papers. And there's this one with the pine cones on the back. I feel like you could even use some of these for fall photographs. This would be great for Christmas. Like, think outside the box. It doesn't just have to be camping. This would be a great Christmas or fall paper. Here's an interesting wood. This one doesn't look realistic. It kind of has a printed or like a cartoony quality. And then something that's some paper that's like a birch bark. So again, pulling in the cardstocks that they recommend. Here's the dark chocolate, the hot fudge, greens. The avocado would look nice with that. And then they also mentioned the beige. So I'll pull out one sheet of that so you can see how that looks with this as well. Because that's one of the colors that they're calling for. So here's the beige. And that looks really good with that paper. So that's a nice light color to lighten up the darker papers. Then we have a little acorn that's just printed on. It almost looks like a polka dot. The flip side, I love this paper. These are the trees. I think they're just gorgeous. And it looks like the side of a mountain where you might have a meadow behind it. So beautiful paper there. And another tone on tone with just leaves. I think this is really pretty. Again, great for fall. This one could also maybe work for Christmas. Again, bringing in the hot fudge, the avocado, and then the dark green. So you can see how those work just beautifully. And even the beige will work with all of these. That's a nice neutral. And if you don't like to scrapbook on white paper or black paper and you like to scrapbook on a more natural color, that's a great paper for that. And then this lovely check. These are always wonderful in the plaid. These are great mix-ins. Again, would be great for something different for Christmas, different for the fall, Thanksgiving, Father's Day, a more manly birthday. So those are beautiful. I think those are exciting. So then they have quite a few. Let me show you the stickers first. And depending on how many pages you might have in your scrapbook, you may want to consider 2 of the stickers. But these are more realistic. They aren't cartoony in any way. They definitely have a realistic look. There is only one tree design line. And then here are your titles that you can use. So they have a nice selection. Then we have a nice embellishment pack. This one is different. Here's a little bit of pine, like a mossy look. Here's a frame that looks like bark. And don't be afraid to think outside the box on these. Like, you don't have to use it a frame. You could even cut this and put a photo. Like, if this was your photo, you could just layer it with 2 sides of it and save the other 2 sides. So think outside the box on it. And I'll be showing that too when I go to use these in our trip album. Here's some more moss for the bark. And then these leaves on this are flocked. So they have a little bit of felting to them. Again, I may cut this and use it differently. I may use this as a frame on a title page. That would be a great place to use this. If you're not sure how to use these, they'd be great for your main photo on a layout or your title page. These are great places, but don't be afraid to cut things up too. You get longevity out of them. Some titles. Got an extra one there. Then these are great for embellishments and layering and tucking behind photos. So don't be afraid to cut these in half to get more use out of them. But those are wonderful. And then they have some smaller frames that are great for layering, for journaling. And we've got pieces of wood here. So you can see how those look. And then we have some more flocked embellishments, the leaves. These are beautiful. I think Creative Memories did a really great job. Here's what the wood would look like if you cut it in half, how you could use it behind something. Serenity, that's a wonderful title. I think of like a lake I've been to in the Rocky Mountains. That would be great for something like that. And then the flocked leaves. And then I think they also, yep, flocked title. So that's a beautiful title with the cursive writing, the script writing. So yes, they have done a wonderful job with their embellishments for this kit. And I think Creative Memories does a great job with their embellishments anyway. I think they always turn out lovely. All right, so here are the laser cut borders. And they give you 2 of each to go with a 2-page layout. And again, don't be afraid to use it differently. Let me get a piece of paper here so you can see these. So you'll get 2 pieces of wood, like branches. And again, don't be afraid to cut these and use these in different ways. This has some flocking on it. I don't know if you can see that in here, but there is some flocking on this. It looks like the bottom of a forest. Pines laying on the ground, so there's 2 of those. Here's a log. It's supposed to be like a log with moss. Again, flocking on this one as well. And then another one, so that could go like that. They do give you 2 tree lines with a meadow in front, so this would be harder to cut up, but you could definitely cut this and use it behind a photograph or across 2 pages. And then this one, so let me make space for this so you can see it better. These are beautiful laser cuts. So this one, look at all the leaves on that. So this is made more for the top of the page, and that would frame out a layout beautifully. You can see that, how that would look across 2 pages. I mean, that's just, it is beautiful. But again, I was even thinking, could you cut this a little bit and use it differently? But that is a beautiful laser cut border. I'm really happy with those. This kit also came with a punch that is different from anything that Creative Memories has done before. And this is called the Evergreen Trees. I don't buy a lot of punches, I'm just going to be honest. But this one with the trees is just beautiful. And it doesn't keep punching, it does 2 tree cutouts. So your border will either have the tree punch out, or you'll have individual trees to work with. So I'll just show you real quick what this would look like. And again, the punches show you how to line up because they have these black little lines right here to line up your punch with your paper. So you can do a whole line. So I'm just gonna, so there you see, you get the cutout. You can see the white tree cutout. Or you also have the actual cutouts where you can create different things with that and use this differently for a border or as embellishments, and you can do them in different colors. So let your imagination run wild with those. So that is the new Evergreen Trees border punch. I love that, so I bought it because I like to do a lot of outdoor, we do a lot of trips where we're outdoors hiking and stuff. Now, Creative Memories right now has, or at least they had, I haven't checked, punches that were 50% off to go with this collection. They had the mushrooms, that's a punch like this. I think they had the wildflower meadow that's similar to this, a tree punch, but you can go online to creativememories.com and see what they are offering at 50% off. But if you've been around for a while, you might have a mountain punch, and this would go great with this collection. And if you have this tree punch, this would also look great, and they pair well together. These would all pair very well together. I also pulled an older punch, and I don't remember the name of this, but it just always reminds me of a river. But this would also work well with this collection for texture, but also for water, I think. You just have to use your imagination a little bit with that. But again, if you have something similar to these, or you might be able to find them out there where consultants are selling them. But those are more punches that work with this collection, I think. All right, so now I will show you the 4.5 by 6.5 mats. My understanding now is they're not doing mat packs anymore that are 4.5, 6.5, and 4 by 6. They're only doing 4.5 by 6.5, which is fine because you can cut them in half and they will be a perfect size mat for your photos if your photos are 4 by 6. Or if you cut them, if you print photos that are 3 by 4, you could also still use these. All right, so here's the first mat, Forest Dreams. Great title. Don't be afraid to use your custom cutting system or even fussy cutting around these and using them in different ways. Here's another one that has like that birch bark feel. The forest is a place of quiet wonder. So again, you can cut these out, use them in different ways as embellishment, use these. You know, if you cut this out, then you can even use this behind your photos for layering. So great cards. Similar to the green check, there's a brown check here. Look at these. These are beautiful. Great layering pieces. Just lovely additions for these pages. Journal box here or a frame. And then more of this. So pardon my dog in the background. She likes to throw her bones. So you might hear that. And then the silhouette of the leaf, which they had it in a lighter color here, but this is a darker color. So same pattern, just done differently. Again, journaling, or cut this out, put a photo in the cutout, Into the Woods. Great title. This one's more of a photograph. At least it looks like a photograph, but who knows now with the artists out there. Life is Better in the Great Outdoors with the cut wood. So that's a great title. A lot of nice rustic pieces here. Again, can be cut in half. Here's another title, The Wilderness Calls. More of that silhouetted leaf. Another beautiful plaid. Title going this way with the wood frame, and then the pines like the other darker pine like I showed you earlier. So those are the same patterns but in different colors, so that goes very nicely together. The wood grain, and then trees, pine cones. So really lovely outdoor themed cards. Again, don't be afraid to cut. Use them differently than as they appear. You get more out of it doing it that way. Adventure Awaits in the Woods. Isn't that a beautiful card? That would even be great for a title page, just saying. Who knows what I'll do for my title page, but it might be that. That's beautiful. So my plan is, after we have our trip, is I'll be putting together an album using this collection and showing some of the pages, how I do them, but then also doing an album flip through at the end, so you can see how it turned out using this collection. So Creative Memories did a wonderful job on this new Deeper in the Woods collection. I love these woodsy themed. I mean, I love the flowers too, like the spring collection. So anyway, it's still, I think on Last Chance, not Last Chance, you can still get the Buy It All bundle through this Friday, 10% off. That comes with the punch. It does not come with the album. The album is separate. But anyway, if you love to be outdoors, camping, hiking, traveling, great collection for that. But also don't be afraid to use some of these papers for Christmas. If you just like the papers, Christmas, autumn, all of that. So thank you very much for joining me. I'll be posting more videos to this YouTube channel, Scrapbook Your Legacy. And you can also find me on Facebook at Scrapbook Your Legacy with Carrie. That's where I post new collections as they come out, and I also post pictures of finished pages there. Thank you for watching. If you like this video and you look forward to seeing more content, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.